As COVID rages its insidious war in Asia, and we hear a great fight back by people and the government, it reminds me of Nelson Mandela's famous quote: "The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fail." We stand today tall, we stand today fat with all the countries who are fighting this insidious war against raged by this COVID disease. It also reminds me of Nelson Mandela's another quote from the famous movie Invictus, where he says, "I'm the master of my fate, I'm the captain of my soul." Surely we're going to win this war against COVID with utmost positivity. Today, Fall in Glory, we are going to talk about the courage. We're going to talk about the never giving up attitude. We're going to talk about resilience of a highest order. Join me today with a coffee with the HR staff. Please welcome Ziyad F AlHodayani, Chartered MCIPD CPHR, the person who has risen with his grit, determination from an HR executive to a head of HR of a leading healthcare organization. He is with us and we're going to talk about the glory, the never failing attitude, being always positive, and have a determination and drive to lead one's career to a destination where one wants to be. Ziyad is currently heading the HR function of Sana Astra Healthcare in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And it gives me a great pleasure to welcome him at Coffee with HR Star. Ziyad, welcome to the Coffee with HR Star. And before we proceed ahead, let's hear a small brief introduction from you. What are you leading currently and how you have come to a stage where you are? And give us some glimpse of your fall, the glory, the positive attitude, the determination, and the drive by which you have driven your career till this stage. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Ziyad F AlHodayani. I started my career in HR 13 years ago. I have a Bachelor in Business Administration, and I have been certified as a chartered member of the CIPD in UK. I am also a member in the Global Society for Human Capital Management in Dubai. Currently, I'm leading the HR department in Astar Sanad Hospital in Riyadh. It is a chain hospital in Asia and in the GCC countries. We have only one hospital as of now in Riyadh. However, the total hospitals for this Astar DM Healthcare is more than 25 hospitals between India, Philippines, and GCC countries. The functions that I'm leading currently, and I have been leading during the past 8 years in different organizations, was mainly the recruitment, payroll management, performance management, employee relation, and including the training development. And administration was part of it, like the government relation and general administration for the organization. I joined actually Astar DM Healthcare last January. It's been quite challenging in healthcare. The HR leading the healthcare is a bit challenging, not like other industries. All hospitals, especially during this period, since last year, since the pandemic started, all hospitals are eager to have their critical team in nursing department and in doctors and physicians to rescue the people, mainly in ICU, in ER, in ICU and PICU. These are the most critical areas where all hospitals around the world are struggling to have competent employees, physicians, and nurses to take the lead in these departments. Where we, as one of these hospitals, are struggling and trying to find alternatives to make those people who are competent in these areas to focus on patients, to increase the quality on the services that we are providing for patients, and we try to eliminate the administration works that these people are doing, mainly when it comes to registering the patient informations and taking a lot of paperwork they have been doing. We started to go through an automation in these areas where it will fasten the record and registration of the people, and it will give them more time to focus on the patients to provide high quality services.
Thank you, Zia. Now tell us about, what is the recipe of your successful career. I've seen you grow. I've seen you grow and grow and grow and grow, and where you have reached. And I know you gotta still have a lot of hunger in your appetite for a career growth. And I've seen you're doing a lot of experimentations. You are always challenging yourself. Tell me, what is the recipe of your successful career? How did you get this, insatiable hunger for the growth?
Actually, I wouldn't say that I reached to level where I can say I had succeeded in HR. HR is an ocean, and it will never end. And during the past years, when I started in HR, I was focusing on operation. And in operation, it was mainly the system of the transactions to enhance the experience of the people in the organization. However, in the past 4 years, when I started to think of having the CIPD, I came to areas where I never touched in HR, which part of it was the HR analytics and data analytics. Having knowledge and experience about HR analytics and data analytics, which is related to business, and some areas it called business analytics, it will give you an overview of the whole organization where you are working in. And in short period, if you do the HR analytics and data analytics in the organization, in short period, you will be able to have a grip on the organization culture, on the organization elements, about the maturity of the organization. And all these can be, we can read it through the HR analytics and data information that we are gathering from the organization itself. When actually I started doing the HR analytics, I found there are more ways and different or alternative ways where we can help the organization to grow, help the organization to reduce number of people, to touch areas where you can reduce the cost, where you can enrich the job of the people, where all these areas will touch directly to the bottom line of the organization. And I would like to highlight one point, that through this, I was actually supported through through some professional institution such as Bostanica, where I was really benefited from the business analyst course they have provided. And it helped me a lot to know how to read the organization and how to be, as an HR leader in the organization, to be a valuable asset for the CEO, where he can read the data and help him to make decisions to drive the organization towards more growth and more profits.
Amazing. So before we, and continue with the coffee with you, you know, let me show a small, video which I show this video of Waleed, and then let me ask you some very interesting question. Because a lot of people, especially the young generation, especially the junior and mid-level people, they'll be very, very intrigued to understand and know that how you have crafted your career and how you are creating your career path for the role which you are in and your future role of a CHR. Today I'm going to tell you a very interesting story. This is a story of Waleed, the versatile HR. Today I'm going to tell you a very interesting story. This is a story. Today I'm going to tell you a very interesting story. This is a story of Waleed, the versatile HR manager, and his career dilemma. Waleed got a great and a good break as an HR executive. A great moment for Waleed and his entire family. Waleed's commitment and dedication brought promotions, and he soon became HR manager. A great milestone for Waleed. Waleed now was giving 100% to his professional growth. Suddenly, after 12 years, he felt stagnation in his career growth. Waleed was now in great dilemma. How to push his career? His plan was to become Vice President of HR in 20 years of his career. He was now staring at an dead end. He met Scott, his old pal and his old friend, who's Senior Manager HR, now being promoted as General Manager HR. Scott explained how he earned professional HR certification from CIPD. Now he's a chartered MCIPD. This completely changed his professional career. Waleed immediately decided to earn chartered MCIPD. Scott advised him to go for a free professional HR certification counseling with Bostonica, Boston International Institute of Certification and Assessments, Dubai, UAE. Specialists at Bostonica, UAE, quickly arranged for a free professional career counseling and certification counseling. The virtual professional assessment was organized with a seasoned HR certification counselor. He advised CIPD, SHRM, HRCI certification from Waleed. Waleed now worked closely with the HR certification coach from Bostonica, who helped him to earn SHRM SCP, Chartered MCIPD, and CPHR certification in just 3 to 4 months. Waleed's career now grew by leaps and bounds, year after year. Next month, he is being hired as Vice President HR for a multinational company. Today, Waleed is a high potential candidate for Chief Human Resource Officer role. He thanks Scott for his recommendation for virtual professionals, HR, certification, counseling with Bostonica, Boston International Institute of Certification and Assessments. To know more, please visit www.bostonica.com and call +971 52880 5786 for free assessment, or write mail to us at uae@bostonica.com. So, Ziyad, did you ever face a something career dilemma like Waleed he faced in his mid-career?
Could you elaborate, please?
Yes, in your career growth, when you are suddenly faced that, you're not growing, you're not going ahead, there's some, great dilemma. Did you ever face a situation like this?
Yes, and it happens sometimes during the career, and it happens sometimes when people get stuck with too much of assignments and short deadlines, and they find themselves going through cycle of same routine. However, I always intend to get out of this cycle by attending some courses or attending some sessions, which it will have much of positivity and much of positive ideas that will give a push, and it will boost the energy and the mind, so we can move forward.
Exactly. So now the next question is, since this is a coffee with HR, you enjoy coffee, I know, and you keep your coffee fresh. Now tell us about, how you keep your coffee of your career fresh every time, every day, and it makes it more interesting, more delicious, more refreshing. How you do that?
I would I would recommend that people should have a goal, a target, an objective. If we don't have objective in this life or career, then there is no benefit of our journey, or there is no direction for our journey. So in order to keep your coffee fresh, you need to make sure that there is a flame under your coffee, and that flame is the motivation, which is the self-motivation that will keep you active, will keep you seeking more knowledge. Actually, there are some people who especially fresh graduates, after 1 or 2 years of experience, they will think that they have mastered the HR. I would ask them, or I would recommend them to seek different areas of HR. When they think that they had enough of the experience, they mastered the HR, they have to read more. They will find there are a lot that they don't know yet. And in each area of HR, since we are dealing with people, we are dealing with human beings, the life and the intention and the if I could say, the willingness, the objectives, the desire of the people, it changes from time to time. There are a lot of people who join organizations with objective that they want to stay for long time. However, during few months or some years, their desires changed. They decide to move forward, either to different sector in HR, or different area of management, either from HR to operation or to other area. So since we are dealing with continuous change, we have to keep ourselves always develop to these changes and learn a lot and read a lot to come to be close to the development happening around us.
Ziyad, you know that in this current today's time, there are a lot of countries who are fighting against this insidious war against this disease called COVID, and especially in India. And this is the time, even, that's why I read this famous quote from Nelson Mandela's quote, that the greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fail. And also, I read another quote from his famous movie called Invictus, where um, he says that I'm the master of my fate and I'm the captain of my soul. So, which you rightly said, the spirit of that is one must have that spirit of rising every time one fails, And your message is very, very valid that, you know, when we start our career, we may not be able to achieve the desired goal. We might think that, yes, we have earned or we have got the best of the knowledge, and suddenly we get into the rug and rigmarole of the HR, and suddenly we faced with blunt situation. We are not able to take care of that. Everything, we fall flat on our face. Everything comes boiling on our face, and suddenly we said, let's leave this organization and go to the next one. You know, but we must face the realities. We must learn. From the message which I'm getting from you is, we must realize, we must unlearn our learning and relearn what the experience that we gain, and craft our career as you have done, and as you keep your coffee fresh. So now the next question is, you did your certifications, you did chartered MCIPD, you did CPHR, mashallah. Why CIPD? Why not SHRM? Why not? I'm not against any of the certification. I'm just curious, to know that why did you go for the CIPD only? And why did not you go for the levels? A lot of people, there's a lot of fascination in the industry that I'm taking level 3 certificate or a diploma, level 5 certificate, diploma, high level. But as I know that you have not gone for our levels, and you have straight away hit the bullseye called Chartered MCIPD and CPHR. Why? And what was the reason for it? And what prompted you? What inspired you to do that?
Sure. Actually, in the CIPD, there are two different learning systems they have. They have the certifications and they have the qualifications. And the CIPD level 3, level 5, and level 7s, these are some sort of qualifications, and they require learning, exams, then they get the certification. Since I have been in HR for quite a long time, and I had hands-on experience in different areas, such as the organizational development, learning and development, recruitment, and payroll management, I decided not to take the courses again and to move forward to be certified with the CIPD. The difference between CIPD and CHRM, as my analysis, when I reviewed both type of certifications or the process for the certification, I found the CHRM is some sort of courses that will be given to people in some certain dates, times. Then after you complete the course, you will get the exam, then you will be certified. However, in CIPD, based on your previous experience, you will be assessed. Then you will have to provide evidence that you have done some certain practices in some certain areas where you need to be certified, either in recruitment or in learning and development or organizational development. So I decided to go for the certification because I had enough experience and hands-on practices on different areas. I was assessed. It was not easy process. It requires a lot of attention. It requires a lot of time management in order to complete the assessment. And then there was a discussion, face-to-face discussion with one of the assessors of the CIPD, and I remember it was for a time of around 3 hours. Then I was honored by receiving the letter that I have passed the assessment, and I was certified as chartered CIPD. So, as a conclusion, I went to the CIPD because of the system of the assessment, which is based on the actual experience that we had in HR.
Very rightly said, Ziyad, and no prejudice to any certification. I would like to show here the very interesting slide of all the global certifications which are available across the globe. You have got a CIPD from UK, which is oldest one in UK. Then you've got a HRCI certification, which is oldest one in USA. You've got a SHRM certification, which was a sister concern of HRCI, but now they split because Shram used to organize conferences and seminars, and now they also launched their own certification programs. And then you've got Australian certification called AHRI, where Ziyad has taken the chartered professional in human resource. And then you've got a certification from HRPA, which is a Canadian-based certification program. And then you have got ATD certification called Association of Training and Development, Talent Development. And earlier it was known as Association of Training and Development. Now they have this training certification is very specially focused for learning and professional management, performance management professionals. And then you've got Global Society of Human Capital Management certification programs, GSHCM programs, and you can take on. And this next slide, which I always show, that how the industry leaders think about when they hire the HR professionals. 95% they think that if they say that hiring and retaining of the right talent affects the bottom line. That means if you hire a right talent, and how do you define the right talent in HR? That 75% believe that the HR certification will benefit organization as a whole. 83% they regard that their HR team as a strategic and valuable partner, which Ziyad was mentioning as is extremely focused on delivering the top line and the bottom line for the organizations. And then you've got 93% of the Fortune 500 companies, and I'll add around 98%, they employ certified HR professionals. That's profound. And then 7 out of 10 organizations agree that their organization would benefit from HR teams who have a professional HR certification. Now, these are the statistics which has been done and presented after doing a lot of research. Now, that brings us to very, very interesting point that Ziyad brought in, that why he went for a CIPD professional certification. He did not go for the levels. That his experience has been very, very profound. It gave him a lot of revelations in the experience process. And now he will let us ask him that how his overall experience has been. You went for experience assessment, right, Ziyad?
Yes, I did.
So tell us about how was your experience in the experience assessment and overall. How did the journey started and how did the journey end? Which just be a little bit more elaborate with the people so that people they understand, especially the senior people.
Sure. Actually, it starts with pre-assessment. The pre-assessment is on the phone, where you receive a call from the CIPD. Then they ask you about the type of certification that you would like to be assessed on, either associate CIPD or member CIPD or fellow CIPD. After you identify the type level of certification that you would like to be assessed on, they will ask you about. There are some questions they will ask about your current job, your reportee, the number of people in your organization, and they will ask you if you have ever done or completed a project in HR. They will take some sort of information from you about that project. Then they will send you an email after the assessment is finished, or the pre-assessment, to complete the financial processes. Then you will receive an access from the CIPD. It is an online access where you need to complete the assessment. They have 3 or 4 levels of area where they assess the applicants. When you complete the assessment with examples, with evidence on the projects that you have done, and all the assessment will be aligned with the professional map that CIPD has. They have a professional map for the HR team, and all the assessment has to be aligned with the professional map to ensure of the quality of the values of the HR that you have actually been practicing in during your career in any organization. Then after completing the assessment, you will be evaluated or assessed by 2 of your colleagues. Not colleagues precisely, but one of them will be a peer and the other one will be a superior. They will assess you, or they will write their evaluation. They will be asked some questions through the web portal, and they will write their answers. Then they will submit their answers to the CIPD. After completing all the this assessment, which usually take between 1 month and 1.5 months, you will be scheduled for a face-to-face assessment. The face-to-face assessment will take around 3 hours. The assessor will review all your application, all the answers that you have provided. Then he or she will have some inquiries or some questions or some clarities that they will be requiring from you. During the face-to-face assessment, they will be asking you some questions to collaborate in some areas or to clarify others. Then within 1 week or 2 weeks, you will receive your the response from the CIPD after the assessor submit all his assessment to the CIPD office. Actually, I did my assessment on the old system because they have changed their system. When I did it, there was a case study that we were reviewing a fiction company, and we have to find ways to enhance the company operation and enhance the profitability of the company, and to have a case studies for the project that we are proposing to enhance the company and make it grow. But the new system, I don't remember exactly what was replaced by the case study. Maybe you can elaborate on that.
Yes. So in the new system, in the new structure, I think so the CIPD has done away with the project report, and they have further enhanced their internal process of giving the examples through the CIPD professional map. Ziyad, now Very interesting question which we received from a number of people is, there are different school of thought. Some people, they say that you don't need any global certification. You can grow your career with your relationship and the Vasta, right? And I will have a good Vasta, good relationship. I know the guys, networking is okay. What do you say, is how important is global certification is for HR professionals to grow in his career?
See, I would say networking is important. It is very important for a professional, an HR professional, to have a good networking and connection with HR team and CEOs or VPHR or CHRs. It helps in exchanging information. However, these networks at some certain of time, or let's say those people in these positions at some certain of time, they will retire. And if they will retire, and if those people whom I know already retired, I will be hanging, or I will be in a situation where I will be actually assessed by other CEOs who will run the organization. But the certifications is like an authentic, uh, if I could say, an authentic license or
Validation.
license to or accreditation for the person that he is meeting the international standards on ways of leading the HR in some certain areas. And it is like an authentication or accreditation from big international institutions that this person uh, is meeting the requirements to work as an HR professionals. In some organizations, we find people who are not actually HR team. They got the HR knowledge by experience. And when we have discussions with some of them, we will came to know, or we will reach blocked ways where they don't know the fundamental uh, of HR on dealing with people. They will always have confusion when they are applying the law. They will always have confusion when they are uh, dealing with the employees' relation. They always get confusion in between. But those who know the HR, who know how to maintain the relationship, who know how to adapt the law in the organization and change the culture of the organization and ensure there is compliance with the laws and regulations, and at the same time to ensure that the happiness of the people in the organizations goes along with that. It only comes by studying HR and knowing how to deal with people and how to manage people and how to make some strategies for people to be in line with the culture of the organization and the law regulations as well.
And how did you mentioned about the training institute Bostonica, that how are they helping or how they are supporting this global certifications?
Yeah, they have actually several courses that they launch on yearly basis. I attended the business analysis from them, the big data business analysis, and it was quite interesting. It is not only how to apply that in the organization, it is also how to design your format. It is how to design the forms and the how to get the objective or the idea. If we don't have objective, we will be lost with the data, because the data are just numbers or just information, a lot of information. If we don't have an objective, what do we need from these data? What are the results that we are going to reach with this data? We will be lost. However, Bostanica helped to frame the work and uh, uh, frame the objective on how to create your objective from these data. It was quite interesting. I learned a lot from that course. It was a long period. Actually, it was about 3 months. However, it was during the weekends. It was not on daily basis. And the best part of it, when we learn something, they give us about 1 week to practice it, to collect data and work on it and see how the information comes out within our actual information in the organization.
They also provide other HR certifications, I think so, for free assessment, pre-assessment counseling, free assessment counseling for CIPD, SHRM, HRCI, ATD, HRPA, GHCM certifications. So I think that their HR certification is quite diverse. Now, coming to the next question is, is the global HR certification is enough, or how important it is to understand, or let me put it in this way, how significant it is to understand the organization business equally as you would like to go for a HR certification program. Yeah.
Yeah, it is important actually to understand the business and the needs of the business, and how to understand the business and the need of the business, and how to be able to make reports or provide data to the CEO, which will help him to make the decision. Is only that the global certifications will help on how to change your mindset towards a strategic mindset, how to help you in thinking differently than operationally. Those people who I used to think in operation wise, I used to be precisely operational person, stuck with the contract renewals, with the attendance, with the payroll, and some of the information of the payroll. However, when I went deeper with the data analysis, I found more than that in HR. And in the same payroll sheet, which we are sending to finance on monthly basis to process the salaries, from that sheet we can analyze and we can get hundreds of information of our people. So any sheet that we have in HR, if we combined it with other sheets, we can get a lot of information. We can know the diversity percentage in our organization from the payroll sheet. We can know the maturity of our organization from the same sheet. We can know more about the number of people in each department, the number of worked hours, overtime, the average salary of the people, the highest salary. We can divide the payroll into 4 areas: the highest 25% of people, the lowest 25% of people. It can also give us information about the structure of the organization, the grading system of the organization. It can give us the alignment of the job. From that information we can get some sort of job families and create the job families and make salaries in line with the same risk and accountabilities of the jobs. So in one sheet we can get a lot of information. Imagine if we gathered a lot of information from the whole business, not only the payroll sheet. So it is critical and it is very important.
Excellent. And Ziyad, you have seen, how the HR has grown in Saudi Arabia in last 10 years. You remember we used to have a personnel department, and then we used to have a PRO and a GRO, and then there used to be international recruitment. That only organization we used to have. And see what we have in Saudi Arabia now. Professionals like you talking about analytics, job families, job grading, benchmarking, doing the surveys, analyzing the data. That a lot has grown in Saudi Arabia a couple of years. and the Vision 2030, which with the passion that the entire country is following to drive the whole country from oil to non-oil sector and drive this business excellence, in the entire country. It's heartening. There's a total transformation going on in industry, in the function, and HR has not remained untouched. There's a huge revolution going on in HR, right?
Yes, of course. Yeah, of
Okay.
course.
Now, yes, go ahead. You're saying
Yeah, of
something.
course. Let me elaborate here. Actually, Saudi Arabia has uh, came to know actually the importance of the HR department. And in several years back, it was only personnel and it was reporting to finance in some of the government institutions. And it was only personnel. It means contracts and salaries. And even salaries, I remember, I think it was under finance. It was not under HR. However, recently, the Saudi Arabia has came to know that it is a critical department which could help in strategizing the business and helping the business to grow. Uh, it is an important department. That's why they now started to move forward by taking seats until it reached the first seats in the organization. Even in the Ministry of Labor, it was called Ministry of Labor, but recently it was changed to Ministry of HR, and that is actually that is a belief in HR that it is an important department to change a ministry to name it as a Ministry of Human Resources.
Excellent. Now, Zia, now a lot of things are changing, which you're saying. A lot of transformation is happening. New areas of HRs are emerging, and tomorrow's world is going to be full of challenges for the HR professionals, as also for the business leaders. So when we view this from this perspective, the new challenges, the emergence of new areas, new domains of expertise and business excellence to drive your organization. What's your advice to the HR leaders for tomorrow? Especially the junior and the mid-level professionals. Senior level people, they are on their way of phasing out. Either some are in retirement mode, they are exiting, they'll be leaving in next couple of years. The most important assets of the functions now is junior and the mid-level of people who are going to become the leaders of tomorrow. So, what's your advice for them?
Yeah, there will be a continuous transformation in HR and in other areas as well. I read once they said in the future in manufacturing business there will be a lot of machines and one dog and a man. The dog's job is to ensure that the man will not touch the machines, and the man's job is to feed the dog. So we are going actually towards an automation of machines, an automation of systems and transactions. Even I remember when I was studying the master of HR with Liverpool University. Uh, Although I did not complete the master, so people will not think I have a master yet. I don't have it. But when I was studying the master that time, we were actually studying how to deal if your peer is a robot and how to work with a robot manager. So to that level, that master or that studies and research is reached. So we are going actually towards a huge transformation in the future. It is taking place now. In some areas, you can find robots are working. So who knows? Maybe in the future, the CEOs will be robots, or the VP HRs or the head of HRs will be somehow robots. But how to deal with them? how to manage those people, how to manage robots. So there is a continuous change, and we have to read researches from the HR organizations, because they will give us the butter of their researches, where they reached among the changes in the world.
Yes, and I think so. When you talk about robot, that reminds me of that Sophia, or this robot is already a
Yeah.
first AI citizen of Saudi Arabia already. So now I think so. We have to forewarn all the CEOs and all the HR head to be careful. You might be, you could be robotized. All right. So now, Ziyad, tomorrow's and sorry, today's world, it's extremely volatile. You know that what COVID has done to us. It has totally transformed the way we are thinking. It has totally changed the way we are behaving. It has totally modified the way we are working. You know, and we are facing the second wave, and some of the countries are really reeling from this tough situation. Tomorrow's world, they say that going to be the third wave, and I don't know when this is going to last. The volatile world is becoming complex, it is becoming ruptured, it is becoming uncertain, it is becoming total unpredictable. Now, in this kind of a situation, HR professionals are not remaining untouched. They are also getting affected by it. Now, the future of the work is changing. A lot of companies, they are putting a plan to have a mixed kind of a work. Some people are saying we would like to outsource some of the functions. Some are saying we would like to have a mix people. Some are saying, let me, make it totally leaner, only some portion to work. Now, these are the challenges which is emerging, and these are challenges going to affect everybody in the organization, be it a CEO, be it a business head, and of course the HR heads and the HR professionals. So, how one should craft his career in this kind of a turbulent, very uncertain, very complex, very ruptured, very, very unstable kind of a environment or economy?
See, yeah. Um, Now it is a time of multitask or multi-skilled people.
No, I'm not saying Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is relatively very, very stable as compared to the lot of countries. This situation is all across, and in Saudi Arabia will be getting affected because there are the US are getting affected, Canadian getting affected, Europe getting affected, Asia. So there will be some kind of a whiplash effect in Saudi Arabia as well. So no one will remain untouched. So what's your career advice to this junior and the mid-level people? Because my concern is about junior and mid-level people, because these are the guys of the future leaders of tomorrow's business.
Yeah. See, organizations now, especially after the pandemic when it started last year, there are a lot of things changed in organizations. All organizations around the world, they implemented distance work, and in every area. In 2019, if we were discussing with the management to implement the distance working, they wouldn't accept that. However, in 2020, and because of the pandemic, they started for distance work for all areas and all departments that can be off site. In one of the organizations, we were discussing actually last year, mid of last year, we were discussing about the work and how we are going to structure the work, especially when Ministry of HR came up with two different type of employment, which is the part-time and the flexi contract or flexi type of work. And they identified the regulations of these two types of employment. So now there are four types of employment in Saudi Arabia: full-time employment, part-time employment, flexi-time employment, and distance employment. With these changes, now all the organizations started to analyze and do job analysis for the organization. Not all the organizations, I mean these leading organizations, they already started to do that, to do the job analysis and to restructure the jobs and identify what type of jobs that I will require people to come part-time, few hours to do the tasks and leave. It will save cost, it will save location. In some areas we are thinking of having a virtual offices where two people can work in one office. We will save location, I mean space, we will save cost, and two guys can work in one office alternatively to do their job. In some areas or some administration offices, it will turn to be like a business centers where different employees can work in same or share same offices. All these are going to be implemented sooner or later in the organization. However, those fresh graduates, those who are junior employees, if they don't learn, I mean, if they don't compete in their level, they will not survive. Now, companies and organizations started to be picky. They are looking for people who have knowledge, who are competent, who are better than those who are in same level. So, for example, recently we have been looking for recruitment officers. So there are a lot of people have experience in recruitment, but not all of them are competent in recruitment. When we do the interview and we ask them about how do they do the recruitment pools, how do they strategize, or how do they plan the recruitment, and how would they take action if some if employees did not complete the probation period, most of the applicant they were not aware what type of actions that they need to take, and they all refer to that I will start the process of recruitment again. If the juniors are not competent, if they are not reading about their areas, if they're in recruitment, they have to read about sourcing, selection, interview, what type of questions that they would ask in interview, and how to create a pool for each job, not every job in the organization, but for the most highly turned over jobs in the organization, or critical jobs in the organization. If they don't learn, they will not compete, they will be left behind.
Amazing. Ziyad, thank you for all the input. Any last advice you would like to give to the junior and the mid-level people so that they can craft their future career, so that we conclude?
I would say that read and practice, and even if you will not be guided by your superiors, try to initiate and implement new things in your workplace, in your area, even if it will not be implemented in the whole organization. Just by reading, taking initiative, implementing in your area would be enough to make you a competent person.
Thank you, Ziyad. And I say it very, very, very openly that Ziyad has crafted his career in such a magnificent manner. Where he was, I've seen him, and how he's risen to this level, and he's crafting his career with a lot of hunger for knowledge, a lot of hunger for business excellence. And that helped me to, enables or pushes me to conclude again on Nelson Mandela's famous quote: the greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. It is not the story of Ziyad, but the story of today, which we all are facing because of this insidious war against this COVID. And to all the nations who are fighting this war, all the people who are fighting this war across the globe, today we stand strong with them, we stand tall with them, we stand fat with you. And I'm sure with a lot of positivity, we will emerge as victorious. Thank you, Ziyad, and it was great having you over a cup of coffee. And we look forward to have a couple of more sessions with you.
Thank
Wish you
you
all
very
the
much.
best luck.
Thank you for it.
Best of luck to you in
Thank
your
you.
future endeavor.
Thank you.